Hello and welcome to a training video for NIVS, which will show an overview of the vaccinator, school vaccinator and vaccinator reporting roles. If you do not have access to the role you require, you will need to contact your trust super user. If you do not know who this is, or you have any other questions, please email nivs@england.nhs.uk, that's NIVS@england.nhs.uk, and we will assist. This here is the home screen for NIVS. What you see here will depend on which roles have been assigned to you. For the vaccinator role, you will have these four options: immunisation status, patients, batches and pre-screenings. For the school vaccinator role, you will have these two options: school flu upload and school flu vaccinations. And for the reporting role, you will have these options here: reports and vaccination extracts. If you hold more than one role, you will see a combination of these options on your home screen, as can be seen on my screen. Let's begin with the vaccinator role. The first option is the immunisation status, which will allow you to check the vaccination status for any patient, regardless of which system their vaccinations have been added to. You will need to fill in either the NHS number or the full set of demographic information, and then click on the relevant magnifying glass, which will show the patient's immunisation records. As we are using a test page, there is no data to show here, but what will appear here are the dates and types of any COVID or flu vaccinations the patient has had. We will then move on to patients, which is what most of you will be using NIVS for. This is used to add patients to the system and to record vaccinations for both flu and COVID. We will start with adding the patient to the system. You should first search for the patient using NHS number, and if they don't appear, demographic information. Please note that some patients may have been added without an NHS number, meaning that they may not appear if you search by just NHS number. To add them on, you will need to search for them, and if they appear, click on Edit, and if they don't, click on the New Patient option. To add a COVID vaccination, you will need to click on New Pre-Screening and fill in this information. Any field which has a red star next to it means that it is a mandatory field and will need to be completed in order to save successfully. Anytime a yes is recorded in one of the pre-screening questions, a box will appear with a warning or guidance message. And if a yes is recorded, the general comments box at the bottom will become a mandatory field. If no is selected for all pre-screening questions, it will not be a mandatory field. However, it will still be there for you to add any extra information relating to the patient or to the vaccination. Once this has been completed fully, you can click Save, which will take you to the vaccination screen. You should then fill in all the information required. And again, any field with a red asterisk is a mandatory field. The batch number field is where you will select the vaccine that is being used for the vaccination. Once it is selected, the manufacturer, batch expiry date and vaccine type fields will be automatically filled in for you. If these are incorrect, these can be amended via the batches option, which will be shown later. Again, once all the information has been entered, you can click Save to save the vaccination. And once you see the green pop-up message on screen, that means that the vaccination has been saved successfully. To add a flu vaccination, you should again search for the patient, and once you're on the patient screen, click New Flu Vaccination. Fill in the relevant information. And click Save. If the batch that you require does not appear in the batch drop-down on the Add Vaccination page, you may need to add it to the system or amend the existing batch under that name. Batches will not appear in the drop-down if their expiry date or, if relevant, defrost expiry date are before the vaccination date. They may also be marked as depleted, which will mean they do not appear in the drop-down. To amend this, you will need to go to the home screen and select Batches and search for the batch. If the batch appears in the screen with the correct batch number, you can click on the Edit button, which will bring you to this page, and check to see if it has been marked as depleted or requires a different defrost expiry date. To add a defrost expiry date, you click Add here, and then select from the calendar drop-down here. This depleted box will mean that it will not appear, if selected, in the batch drop-down. So if you can't find the batch that you want to in that batch number drop-down, come to this page and uncheck this box, and then click Save. Batches can also be added by searching for a batch and clicking on New Batch if the one that you require does not appear. You will need to fill in the relevant information and click Save. This batch will then appear in the required drop-down on the Add Vaccination page. That is an overview of the vaccinator role. As always, if you have any questions, please contact us at nivs@england.nhs.uk. We will now look at the school vaccinator role, which is used to upload school-age flu vaccinations. To upload a flu dataset, you need to click on the School Flu Upload option and upload the file here. If there are any errors within the file, it will tell you here. You should then amend these on the file and re-upload. When you see that it is ready to go and has passed validation, you should click on Upload. Once you see the green pop-up, you will know that it has been uploaded successfully. If you need to edit these after uploading, you should go to the home screen, click on School Flu Vaccinations, and then click on Search School Flu Vaccinations. From here, you can search for patients and amend their records in this way. The reporting role allows users access to vaccination reports, which can be downloaded from the Vaccination Extracts option on the home screen. You should select the type of vaccination extract from this drop-down here. The options are all COVID vaccination events recorded by your organisation, health and care workers and patients, which will download all vaccinations that your organisation has uploaded to NIVS. All COVID vaccination events recorded for employees of your organisation. This will download a record of all vaccinations where employees of your organisation are the patients. Patients with multiple COVID vaccinations on the same day. This can be used to find duplicate vaccinations that have been accidentally recorded twice. Patients without any COVID vaccination activity, that's patients who have been saved onto NIVS where there is no COVID vaccination recorded against their profile. Patients with a COVID pre-screening and no vaccination, that's where a pre-screening has been saved but a vaccination record has not been saved. Patients due a second COVID vaccination dose, that is a download of patients who had a first vaccination longer than a set period of time as outlined by the national programme. And then all flu vaccination events recorded by your organisation, which is the same as this first one, but for flu rather than COVID. All flu vaccination events recorded for employees of your organisation, which is again the same as the second one, but for flu rather than COVID. And patients with multiple flu vaccinations on the same day, which is again like the duplication one for the COVID, but for flu. The top two and their flu equivalents have a maximum date range of 2 weeks. So if you need to download data for a longer period of time, you will need to do this in 2-week blocks. Also, due to a change in the fields of data collected, reports can only be downloaded to show data from the 26th of August 2022. If you require data from before this date, please email the help desk with the name of the extract and the dates of the report that you wish to download. Please note that for all of these extracts, this data only refers to records that have been saved on NIVS and will not show vaccinations that have been recorded on other systems such as Pinnacle. That concludes this overview of NIVS. As always, if you have any questions, you can find our email address at the Contact Us button on the bottom left of NIVS, nivs@england.nhs.uk. We will be able to answer any questions you may have about the system. Thank you.